Welcome everyone to the Master Box, where today we have another co-cast with my co-caster here, Nilla.
How's it going? We were just talking about some very degenerate stuff before this, and a switch just got flipped, and you're like, "Hello, everybody." I'm like, "Oh wow, that was good.
Yeah,
That was professional as hell."
It's called being a professional. I could use my radio voice if I so choose. So today I'd like to thank this cast sponsor. We have racedesigns.ca. Nilla, you seem to have a wonderful experience in marketing. Would you like to explain to us why our sponsor is so important as we watch Schwere Aufgrund playing Bezelogo and Sox playing Fifth Cav?
Yeah, so instead of going and using some website designer like Wix or something like that, get somebody who knows how to build a website. As somebody who just built my own resume website, it's easy enough, but having that personal touch and flair to it and that professional look, it's always worth it. So go give them a look.
Okay, and as we were talking about our wonderful cast sponsor, if you look down south, the PTRS is currently following this little column of Romanians.
Oh, wow. And the Romanian anti-tanks rifles down south in the town get knocked out by the PTRS.
Oh, yeah. It was nice to see that AB USOR actually just wrecked that PTRS, because if that thing popped out, that would have fucked a lot of stuff up.
Yeah, there's a lot of toxicity going on at the start of this match. You got PTRSs and boys anti-tank rifles, whatever the Romanians have, everywhere. So it seems like these guys are in it to win it.
Hey, Make-A-Wish Foundation doesn't apply to Steel Division 2. Bring the cancer to all the tournaments. And if
you see that bombing run up north?
Oh, Jesus.
He just took out like 4 units with it. It was like a Tanko, a Flamer squad, and I think a Strafniki squad and a half-track.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, because there were a bunch of half-tracks behind there too.
Yeah, that was brutal. That was absolutely brutal.
Yak's getting some revenge, but honestly, like, 5th Cav doesn't really have much of anything down here to deal with that. But at the same time, Ognos and... Oh no, 2 Strafnikis might be able to pin down this Hotchkiss up north, and that's going to be a really big breakout, especially with a BA-10 coming in for some quick 45 support.
Yeah, and you can see all the infantry getting spammed out real quick to try to go and hold the line.
Yeah, and in a ZSU M15, I don't think he liked that bombing run very much.
No, he's pretty upset by it. I would be too. I would be salty as hell after that.
Hey, we were just talking about fucking all the cancer in these things. I mean, tournament play is fair game, okay? Make-A-Wish doesn't apply to Steel Division tournaments.
If I worked at Make-A-Wish, I would be the expectation setter.
Yeah,
that would be such a good job.
Yeah, you just constantly disappoint them.
Can I not have cancer? Ooh, sorry.
If you look in the central town, like, one of the big things holding here is I really like the Colossi, but we also have a Bug Light Grenadier pushing up on that Maxim. And Schwere does not really have much in the center town. He pretty much committed up north.
Yeah, Schwere up north is making the right move there with those 3 flags. So long as, they get it together and take back those 2 flags that Sox has taken, it'll give him that 15-9 tick.
And if you look down south, we have the blue butt plug going in here. He has completely collapsed the southern portion.
It's a really, really, really narrow neck on that butt plug. They must be really experienced.
Wait, wouldn't narrow neck mean inexperienced in the...
you see, I don't know what I'm talking about. Shows you I would have a narrow neck.
Oh, Jesus. But I don't think Schwere is really noticing, because he's constantly reinforcing into the center portion while his bottom is completely collapsing.
This is off to a great start.
Oh, phrasing.
So, what this just like this cast, this game's been an utter shit show. Both sides' flanks have just collapsed, and the town, both sides don't have shit in the town. And there's planes everywhere, so
it's chaos.
The match and the cast fit one another.
People don't come to us for decency. What are you talking about? We're here for all the chaos and all the fun. But if you look up north, like these Rosiori, like the 25-point squads, I think are able to plug the holes. Because looking at the decks, all that Schwere really has is those Strelky SVT that we haven't seen come out. So I think that's the card he's gonna... Yep, speak of the devil.
Yeah, and one thing up north with the Rosori, they kind of fill a role that... it's not Munta. What's the Blindata, the tank division, with all those those Moto troops? these dudes here kind of fit that role better because I think I had part to play in getting the ones in Blindata nerfed because they used to be 20 points under 25, but they don't have AT like the Rosori. The Rosori's a really good unit there, and they have semi-autos. So like you were saying, it's going to be a fair fight with that Strelky coming in, but my money is going to be in the Rosori. There's a lot more of those than there are SVTs.
Yeah, and the Venatori de Moto, they have either a card with Panzerfaust or not with Panzerfaust, so that's the split there. So it's similar, but what we're seeing here, oh my god, an IL-2M cluster is getting brought in for an ABU sword. What am I watching?
That's a, oh shit, I'm going to lose 2 infantry squads. I need to kill that now.
Oh god, the ABU sword almost got through too. Like, that's like an Exorcist moment where it's like the head's spinning, everything's going to shit. And it's just like, well, the exorcism is complete. You no longer have an ABU sword in your bottom.
Bye-bye. And then up in the town, too, we can see, it looks like Schwere is doing a really good job of keeping the pressure on. Since they got blunted up north, that's a lot of stuff that got called in by Sock. So if I'm Schwere, I'd be thinking, all right, that's a lot of points invested up north to stop this counterattack. Buy something there to hold the front line. It's okay. You can give that territory back to your opponent. Go push in the town and take the town. Because if you take that center there, the game's essentially over. It's so hard to get back into the town if your opponent loses it.
Yeah, one thing I want to say, though, is I really like these R2. For 25 points, you get a 37 mil cannon and 2 MGs. I mean, yeah, it's slow as dog shit, but in combination with, like, infantry, to use it as an infantry, a really cheap infantry support tank, just like our previous cast, like you said, it doesn't matter if you have a shitty tank. Does your opponent have a shitty tank?
Yeah, tank's a tank.
But what we are seeing is in the center portion, this KV-1S is just bullying the Romanians. Like, the Romanians had taken this guy's lunch money, and now the KV-1's getting in there, and it's just getting all the revenge for those years.
Yeah, and you can see the Hotchkiss 25 is going to get treatment that it probably deserves for all the bullying that's happened to the KV-1.
Yeah, it's just like bullet hose moment after bullet hose moment.
Yep, and great pairing right there with the BA-10, using it to spot an infantry that's sitting inside of the building so the KV-1 doesn't stumble upon it and get blown up. But there is a Panzerschreck coming in, so pulling those back, that's a good idea.
Now, one thing that's really interesting to think about is that BA-10 didn't see the infantry in the building because it didn't engage until it got the extra star of veterancy from the KV-1S. So that brought its optics up because of its veterancy. So that's a really quick show of how veterancy can help out mid-game.
Yeah, that's super cool to see. And then this one Rosori here that's in that salient, now bulge again, plug, it's out of AT grenades, so it's just been demolishing half-tracks that roll up on it.
Yeah, we have half-track, plane, that wasn't them. That's a... what are they, Jeeps with probably with a Maxim or something in it. So
yeah,
it looks like Schwere Panzer has plugged the bottom pretty well.
Yeah, and now it's just a matter of taking it back because and then holding the far north, because I don't think anything's going to really be happening in the town here. Neither one of them have the income to take care of that for the time being.
No, and I think that we're seeing the 5 points and just the aggression coming out of Schwere Panzer really play into the fact that Sox is a balanced player, but he's throwing his points around in a responsive fashion, which is what you need to do, because if you can't not give up the top.
Yeah, and shout out to Sox too for being so aggressive down south to start the match, being balanced, getting into that town up there and getting on that flag where that half track's pulling away from. That's not easy, in doing that and having the confidence to do that is super impressive. And then having the ability to say, all right, I'm going to hold with what I got in the town and reinforce up north and take it back. That's really, really good awareness there by Sox.
But I'm going to also point out here, Sox is doing an amazing job because he has this ABU SOAR fire support vehicle. So he's going to retake the south and constantly force Schwere Panzer Afton to constantly pour more and more reinforcements while not really putting much into the south himself.
Yeah, Schwere really needs to get a tank down there. And as you know, being Bazooka logo, you get a lot of good medium tanks. Calling out some sort of medium tank or even a BA-10 if there's still one available to go deal with the autocannon car would be a good use there. But Sox is like, all right, I'm going to solidify down here, is bringing in a 45 mil to watch the reinforcement road. This is just really good map presence and awareness by Sox.
Yeah, no, that 45 mil will cause absolute hell on any reinforcements because you don't expect that. The beautiful thing about it being in a Horsch is it can get down there fast. Oh, ooh.
And then up north, that KV-1 rolled up into the town and just obliterated those R2s.
Yep, until the Panzerschreck had something to say.
Yeah, the Panzerschreck had to show back up and say, hey, don't pick on him. I'm his friend. And now the little bombers coming in. It's a shit show up north.
Oh, yeah, no, this is just pure chaos, and I love it. I just need more of this in my life. And the other thing is, because Sox pushed out Schwere from up north, he lost his ZSU M17. He no longer has AA up north. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that's a hard loss right there. And being able to call in those cheap little light bombers is super important. But Sox is going to have to notice that. If Sox doesn't notice that, then that's not going to be taken advantage of. But knowing that that little biplane got out, that should be an indication that there's no AA now.
Yep. Oh, down south, that 45 mil is now firing onto a T-34-76. Does it have APCR?
Yes, it does.
It does. So it actually can penetrate that 75. Hell, the AP shells can penetrate the 75.
It's not long for this world, though. The IL-2 is about to drop some hate on it.
Oh, that is very fair.
And there it goes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And then another thing here, too, that I want to point out by Stocks is the aggressive use of his Resori there. Because when that unit's low on health there and you have it in a position that's less than 100 meters like it is from a road, getting it up there to throw a grenade, it could be that kill on that T-34. It's on an attack move, so it's getting caught out there by the SG-43. But that's a really good use of a unit there and trying to get extra value out of it before letting it die. A little miss micro there. There's a lot going on. I don't even want to say that's really so much as a mistake. Because they tried microing it away from the last moment, but great use of that unit there.
Yep, and we're seeing Sox try to push back into the center portion. Now, one thing I want to point out is that Schneider M45, I think, forced Schwere to purchase that IL-2. So that IL-2 is a 100-something points, maybe? 100 points?
Yep, flat, 100 points flat.
And Sox is showing the amazing Roggiori up north, too. He's completely turned that entire top around.
Yeah, and then there's those little pockets there with the Resvedka, which can be a real pain in the ass, and then that Strefniki squad. But overall, really good counterattacks and pressure by Sox thus far.
Yeah, I mean, if the
Even in the middle.
Oh, yeah, really in the middle, too. Like, I'm noticing that there's a very thin red line, and this is not the British we're talking about.
No.
So I think that the trading has gone a lot in Sox's favor. But I gotta say, Schwere did a great job with that aggression up north. Complete chaos. It was a beautiful furball.
Yeah, and one thing, too, with Schwere so far, I think Schwere would have been fine if Sox didn't get aggressive down south. Because I guarantee you, because, we've cast this map before, and I've talked about pushing across that road right there, and that gap's a bad idea. But that's coming from somebody who has, thousands of hours in the game, and is like, all right, if I'm playing against somebody who I know is the equal skill level of me, I'm not going to do that because they probably wouldn't do it. And if they do it, I'm going to punish them. Yeah. So it's probably a similar situation here for Schwere. Schwere's probably like, they're not going to do that. And then Sox rolls up, it's like, watch me. And it's like, oh, shit, that's fucking crazy. Why did you do that? Well, it worked. Great. Now I have to go deal with that. And they're counterattacking up north. So just really good. Some 4D chess going on by Sox.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that he was able to push across that, which everyone expects this flag right here to go to the blue side, right? Like, that's just a given. But the fact that he committed and he kept reinforcing and he kept probing and he kept pushing made the entire bottom just collapse. Like, it just ruptured down there.
Yeah, and the counterattack in the town is still going pretty strong, too. And the call out of the T-34s here by Schwere might be too little too late. There's a lot of points where in the middle, if those tanks had come out at the right time, it would have probably been the deciding factor in the middle and pushed Sox back into that long strip there. That's just by that flag and the Hotchkiss. So, yeah. Missed opportunity by Schwere on that end.
Yeah, it's just the fact that the tanks are really good when they're supporting infantry, especially in the town fight like this, because it's 4 individual squares. So if you can see into the square, you can support the infantry that are there. But, pardon me, what we saw earlier was we saw the infantry fighting infantry with no support. And at that point, the semi-auto Roshiori were going to just do the Lord's work, especially the closer they got, because their machine gun is also an automatic rifle. So they have the submachine gun with 150-meter range, so that means that their accuracy is improved at 100 meters. The rifle and the automatic rifles, all in a 25-point unit. It's beautiful. One of my favorite infantry units.
Yeah, and then we can see up north too, Sox is the indication that, oh wow, I've done a lot more damage up north than I probably thought I did, and is moving forward the Resistori assault to try to get into forward positions there before reinforcements can take up positions to hold the north flank for Schwere.
Yeah, because he's got Roshiori Assault, which are dual... Oh, no, these are the... I love these guys. The Molotovs. Oh,
yep.
So fun. 4 Berettas and 8 semi-auto straight pull rifles. Like, it is a beautiful close combat squad. And
it's an awesome unit.
Now being reinforced with some Pioneering Kalari, which also have semi-auto rifles and a satchel charge.
Yeah, and it's just 1 machine gun and 1 M42, so not a lot there to stop that push.
Yeah, the IL-2Ms were 100-point investments. Oh, Jesus, he's even put AA up north in this central collapse? What?
Yep.
Or in the bottom collapse?
There's AA everywhere, too. Like, there is one up north. There's a Hotchkiss up north.
Oh, wow. No, not just the Hotchkiss, but the 25 mils, too. Like, this man is covering his approaches. He's like, I'm doing this deep penetration, and he brought the protection to keep in the rear, too.
Yeah, this is actually a really interesting matchup here with the IL-2 and the Hotchkiss truck and the Hotchkiss 25 mil. Because IL-2 is so slow, the Hotchkiss truck's going to be in range of it longer. And it's only a 13 mil. It's got 3 damage on it, but you look at that in comparison to what the Hotchkiss AA is doing, it's higher damage, so I'm sure the caliber comes into play on how much damage it does. But with slow planes, keeping both those guns firing for longer, that's going to be a hard thing to counter here for Schwere.
Yeah, and we already have these Yaks, which are horrible resilience anyway, like smoking just from those 2 AA guns themselves.
Oh, caster curse.
Oh,
I was about to say, too, it's going to get away because of the 2-star veterancy on it, but I held my tongue.
Oh, I just opened wide, apparently. Oh, I got proven wrong again.
Loose lips sink ships.
They do. Now, what we're seeing down south is we're seeing the SU-122s and the T-34s going around the city, not supporting inside of it. So that's a really interesting move.
I think that's the right move, though, on that northern approach there for Schwere, because you can go and threaten the reinforcement road with those if you can get out in the open. But if you don't have AA in adequate range, which we're about to see here, this J-87 is very likely to get its bombs off. It might be stunned here, but I think it's going to be able to get its bombs off and provide some help to this Rosita.
It got a little bit off. It's a dribble. It's a dribble.
Yeah, it did damage. So the next penetration on that 122 is going to kill it.
Yeah, and I think that the targeting of the 122 is the right move, just because that heat shell that it has, where it can instantly kill the Stug, which is what we saw earlier. Like that SU-122 right there. Yeah.
Yeah, another good, a really good game sense by both players there, using the 122 as an impromptu anti-tank gun in the town, or tank destroyer, excuse me, and just blapping the Stugs, because the C-34s are going to struggle against the Stug, but not the 122. If that 122 gets a hit with it, it's just going to demolish it, like you pointed out there.
Yeah, because it's a one-shot kill. Now, the problem is, Schwere is getting pretty desperate right now, which is why he's throwing everything that he can into this meat grinder. But, I mean, when we're looking at the points right now, he's the Maverick. It's at the end of B phase. I'm not saying the writing's on the wall, because I'm sure he might be able to pull it out, but the writing's kind of on the wall.
Yeah, I'll say it. The writing's on the wall. And hey, Schwere, if you're watching this, hopefully it's a caster curse. Hopefully you prove me wrong.
Well, I mean, the fact that this 122 is trying to unload on a Rashidza, that's interesting that the Rashidza doesn't actually have line of sight to the 122 because there's no other infantry supporting it there.
Yep, and then is that a? It's a fire position by the 122.
Oh,
it doesn't see the Rosita either. The one up in the hill, just got bombed. But yeah, he just stunned it. So really good micro there by Schwere.
Yeah, I do like this Rosita down the road here, especially in the central town, because it just cuts off everything that might come from the northern respawn point. But then again,
that's a dangerous spot in case an infantry squad gets a look on it with its machine guns, but that's a really good road to cut off, like you were saying.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, the man is flooding in Romanian troops. I think he would have, like, an idea. And he's also got a 45 mil just shooting into the main central town square over here, too. Like, what? So much beautiful use of support weapons.
Yeah, and then we can see here, this is going to be the last hurrah of Schwere coming in with the Strefniki and the artillery Su-76 and the AT Su-76. If those don't make a push and win the game for him, then I think it's pretty well and over.
Well, I mean, it depends on what happens up here. If Sox is aggressive up north, I agree. If he gets hesitant, which I don't think he's gonna, because he's shown aggression. I love it. I need to see more aggression. Yes. But this Su-76 push is the last real hurrah, you're right.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because Sox is rolling out with a division, 5th Cav, that's not really a balanced division, but played it like it was Maverick, which is really cool to see. It's cool to see different incomes played and decks played, like it's not the income that you have selected, and it will throw your opponent off. And you have to have a lot of, confidence in your own ability and then the map that you're playing on and know your opponent well enough to pull it off. But when you do it right, you can see the result of it, because Schwere hasn't played a bad game. Sox has just played a better game so far.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you play balanced, you want to try to push for a flag as a buffer flag, right? Like you want to force
an easy
them.
one, preferably.
Yeah. And I think that's what happened here. And then he just crushed the South, and he was like, "Wait, I can push more. I'm a real boy."
Yeah, and we can just see that 18-6 coming in. It's just dire for Schwere. Yeah. But hey, props to Schwere for trying to stick it out and make something happen here.
Oh yeah, and the fact that we're seeing this combat out here, I love seeing commanders used. Now, he's moving
big percentage of his income too.
He's moving it over to give the Strafniki 3 stars because he doesn't have another one. Oh, it hurts.
Ooh, here comes an Andrusha. Now, kids, what do we say about the Andrusha? You got to either bring it close to take out one specific target or keep it further back for the stun. And I think he's going to use it for the stun here.
I think he's going to go for that Roshiori intersection right there is where I'm going to put the money on that he's going to aim it at. Because it's already there, so I'm holding shift waiting to see where it's aiming.
I think there's a high likelihood that it's forgotten and it's not used.
Ooh, just the amount of micro he's trying to do in the town right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Tiger's not involved. The Su-76s have been attack clicked on something. Oh, there we go. Okay, they were like moving forward to attack a machine gun. I think Schwere might be a little stretched for micro right now.
Very, very much so. Oh, nope, he's aiming up north. Oh, this
fire as well.
Is this the reclamation of the north?
Oh, wow, I didn't even think to do that. That's super smart to do with your rocket artillery. Put it on return fire, tell it to shoot somewhere, and then fly a recon plane over to see if there's anything there, and then let it loose.
See, I always use the return fire just so I know when it's going to shoot, because I don't actually trust the SD gods when it comes to, like, letting loose on their own.
You don't trust Mad Matt? What are you trying to say?
I don't. My faith is not as strong in Mad Matt.
You need to go to confession. That's fucked up.
Forgive me, Mad Matt, for I have sinned.
Whenever Mad Matt replies to you, it's fear not.
Fear not, you will be forgiven for 3 quick plays and 2 ranked.
We will forgive you if you buy another DLC.
They already have like 4 in the works or something. Like it's just never ending.
Yeah.
The DLC you must buy is the Moroccan DLC with no actual armor in the entire DLC.
Yes, I love it.
And you must play American Airborne so you can relive your back injuries.
Wow, that Andrusha missed every single rocket. Didn't get a single hit point kill. It just stunned everything.
Yeah, it's all around that forest, but that should allow the Strafniki, at least the 16-man, to like actually make a difference.
They needed to have been closer to get the surrender. Those guys are going to get some combat effectiveness back by the time they reach them.
Yeah. Wait, BF-109E7s? These are like the super 65 pointers. Yeah, what's going on? He's headhunting?
Yeah, those are the super fun planes that fly around in War Thunder.
Oh, those are like the, what, 3.0 battle rating or something like that?
Nah, it's like a 2.7.
Oh, it's
a super low.
It's like actual dog shit.
Yeah, it's like Battle of Britain.
Oh, that is right. There's so many BF-109 variants in War Thunder, they just couldn't say no to making more.
Yeah, you know, it's your typical German war economy in the 1940s is just produce something to produce something for the sake of producing something, whether it's good or not.
And as people in War Thunder will say about the Germans, Germany suffers. And it's not because they're shit players, it's because Germany suffers.
Definitely not because they're shit players. My time.
Oh, he's using these artillery Su-76s to go after the AA. And the radio range from the VZ VOD is actually helping him.
He gets a kill there. A little late on that, but good use there of the Su-76.
And I like how he's splitting the fire now. He's firing one at the Riziori Blob and a Pioneering Kalari, so he can try to push his Strafniki back.
Yeah, really hear what won it for Sox, because this is all well and done, is holding that village down south there. It's taken Schwere all game to just get even nearer position to take that flag back, and even then, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. I want to say thank you to both players for playing in the Kingdom of Steel game tournament. And thank you very much, Nilla, for also being a co-caster. But I'd like to say that both the players did a great job. The unbridled aggression in the South from Sox and then realizing to exploit it was like the key to this game, in my opinion. At the same time, though, Schwere, the North was beautiful. It was chaos. It was entertainment.
Yeah, well, and like I said, too, Schwere played a good game, but Sox played an even better game.
Yeah. And the other crazy thing is, like, Schwere was pulling it off early with Bezalugo. Like, you never see this division played.
Yeah, so props for taking out Bezalugo, too, because most of the Soviet divisions right now, if you want to say Germany suffers, the Soviet Union suffers right now.
Well, that's because everything is cookie cutter, and Mad Matt doesn't know how to distinguish the Soviets.
True. Probably because that's why they were winning, too. They standardized everything. They found what worked.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing I'm going to point out here for this game is there was only a 500-point difference for losses and kills.
Yeah, like, and the map
didn't close game.
The map didn't really show it, but I mean that's kind of the feeling. It was just like I said, Sox played just a better game than a good game by Schwere.
Yeah. All right. So chronology, the PTRS says he actually got it. The cancer happened.
So look at the chronology. You can see where that bombing run in the beginning happened. It was the Tanko Desaniki, the half track, a Rezvedka, and 2 Strelky SVTs.
And that's
one bombing run.
That's all one IAR-37. That is crazy.
Yep.
I think that bombing run might have saved him the North and in the game almost because he didn't have the stuff to push up there after he took it.
Yeah, very likely did save him the game because that's like a half of that force up north getting wiped out.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. That something within the first 2 minutes of the game set the entire tone for it.
Right place, right time.
And an IAR, which is bullshit because it's recon and has 1250 kilogram bombs, but that's neither here nor there. And
awesome.
With that, I'd like to say thank you everyone for sticking through. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Again, I have at 100 subscribers a giveaway for a Steel Division DLC because there's not 40 of them out there already. So you might not have one, and you might want it. So who knows? One lucky winner will happen. And with that, I'll leave you guys to Nilla for any last things he wants to say.
Bye-bye.
All right, and with that, tune in for the next cast.